Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, we are from the fourth group of CCU A class and we would like to present about intercultural communication. Before that, let me introduce our group members. They are Fadia Azizah, Shalimar Noor, Rania, and I, Karomatus Khansyah Ameliana Putri. Academic research on national culture and cultural differences has identified dimensions that have an impact on the functioning of communities and individuals, as well as organizations and project teams. When cultural differences are recognized and understood, there are good opportunities to build bridge across cultural gaps. The traditional approach, international trade, foreign direct investment, and firm internationalization. International trade is important for the welfare and economy of a country, like the investigation conducted by Adam Smith about the nature and causes of the nation wealth, and this shows that in an economy, it is necessary to export goods and services, then generate income to finance important goods and services that cannot be produced domestically. One of widest indicators of country's economic strength can be measured in terms of gross domestic product or GDP because this measure is an estimate of the value of goods and services produced by an economy in a certain period. Next is foreign direct investment. The market imperfection theory states that companies continue to look for the market opportunities and invest abroad as a strategy to take advantage of certain capabilities that foreign competitors do not have. Then, from this profit, the company uses it for products and factor of production. Firm internationalization is a process of increasing involvement in international operations. There are various potential paths any company might take in internationalization. It has been argued that the literature relating to internationalization from the perspective of export development is perhaps one of the most advanced and major areas of knowledge in international business. Next is global, transnational, international, and multinational companies. In the world of e-commerce and virtual business, it becomes more helpful to categorize company by its intention or strategic focus rather than its actual operation. International companies doesn't have foreign direct investment or FDI and make products or services only in their home country. In other words, they are exporters and importers. They do not have staff, warehouses, or sales offices overseas. The best examples of international companies in the proper sense are exotic retail stores selling imported products or small local manufacturers exporting to neighboring countries. Multinational companies, they invest directly in foreign assets, whether it be leases for building service operations to homes, factories on foreign and for overseas marketing campaigns, but in general, multinational companies have FDI or foreign direct investment in only a limited number of countries, and they do not seek to homogenize their product offering across the countries they operate in. They are more focused on being responsive to local preference than a global company would. Global company has investment in dozens of countries but maintain strong headquarters in one country, usually in their home country. Their mantra is economies of scale, and they will homogenize as much product as the market allows to keep costs low. Corporate marketing campaigns often span the globe with a single message in an attempt to smooth out differences in local tastes and preferences. Theory in international business. International business is the study of business activities that cross national borders. Therefore, it is concerned with the companies that carry out the business and the national government that regulate it. A framework for building a business theory can be built on existing barricading theory, especially in the political economy and business field. Country risk. The government may limit the financial activities of locally operating affiliates who wish to conduct transactions with foreign entities, for example, remittance, foreign loans, and foreign investment, royalty payment to the parent company. That risk is an inevitable feature of the environment for non-international companies in their country. International structures, on the other hand, have the ability to diversify the country-specific risks by operating in more than one country and also manage them through international intra-company activities or through negotiation with government. Generation G as synonym for the future international manager. Unlike Generation X and Y, Generation G or digital is not determined by age. This is a group of people who are completely comfortable with the digital revolution and regularly consume online information of all ages. There has been a shift in preference for working in organizations that offer opportunities for autonomy, creativity, and socially stimulating atmosphere. For companies in general, the challenge is to create meaningful lateral career opportunities. MNCs have a comparative advantage because the organizations are not large and geographically dispersed, which results in various lateral job shifts for their employees. As such, MNCs potentially offer much greater scope for career development than their domestic counterparts. Thank you. Then for the next presentation will be delivered by Shalimar.
Hi, I'm Shalimar Rania and I would like to continue the presentation. The first is about the Gauge Distance Framework, Kemawa 2001. Cultural distance is a function of differences in values and communication styles that are rooted in culture, demographic, or organizational. Distance is created when individuals or groups perceive that their values and communication styles differ from others, e.g. Global 2016. Here is the example of the cultural distance. And then the fifth is about globalization, People's Voice Jim 1999. Globalization has two aspects. The first one is about positive aspects. The positive aspects are international trade keeps prices low and quality high. Then globalization can bring wealth to some of the world's poor. Globalization can help bring world peace. And then the globalization could help protect the environment. And the second one is about the negative aspects. Globalization has led to greater disparity in wealth within many countries. The creation of what is essentially a single large global market entails certain. Globalization does hurt some workers in each country. Diseases can spread more easily now due to the vast numbers of people crossing international borders. And then globalization is also leading to a homogenization of the world's cultures. And the sixth is about globalization, China's Big Market Attack, Watson 2000. No amount of stock advertising or brilliant promotion would have been enough to get the job done on their own. The fast food industry didn't create a market where none existed. Rather, it took advantage of an opening created by the demise of an antiquated Confucian family system. The more one looks into the personal lives of consumers in any given location, the more complicated things become. People are not the mindless automatons that many theorists portray them to be. Consumers haven't been robbed of their cultural heritage, nor have they become mindless pawns of multinational corporations. Thank you, and the next presentation will be delivered by Fadia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fadia Azizah and I would like to continue the presentation from Karomatus Khansyah. Since every country has its own culture and every company is located within country, it is difficult for culture not to influence domestic business operations. It is easy to forget that conducting business and making preparations is just as culturally bound as how others conduct business in their own countries, because we are so absorbed in our own cultures. Since our domestic culture governs how our domestic business work, scholars and practitioners have almost unanimously agreed that culture and company couldn't be separate, and the difference can be seen in communication with the teamwork, perceptions of time, formality, or others' culture calendars. It is essential to understand, communicate, and interact with people from many different cultures. How does domestic culture impact domestic business operations? When we are working with people from a different culture, you can notice that their business strategies, communication styles, and management styles vary from your own. While doing business with people from a different backgrounds, you must set aside preconceived ideas and make an effort to learn about their culture. Learning not to apply your value code while judging individuals from other cultures is also the most challenging task. It is critical to remember that there are no right or wrong ways to interact with others, only different ways. Planning is the process of setting goals, developing strategies, and outlining tasks and schedule to achieve those goals is referred to as a planning. Project planning is a discipline for studying how to complete a project with a specific time frame, usually with a defined stage and research like creating measurable goals, identifying deliverables, and planning the schedule, making supporting plans. Strategy and planning must change as the global and local societal and business environments change. But culture remains the same or changes much more slowly than other environmental influence. When employing culture as an analytic or predictive variable, practitioners must keep in mind that the major theories of cultural dimensions are compilation of measures of individual values which are typically expressed by the mean or average score of a dimension. Monochronic culture prefer to focus on one task at a time. They value order and the sense that everything has its proper time and place. Interruptions are not valued by them. They prefer to focus on the task at the hand and take time commitments very seriously. Polychronic cultures enjoy doing multiple things at the same time. In a polychronic culture, a manager's office typically has an open door, a ringing phone, and a meeting going on at the same time. Though they are easily distracted, they also manage interruption well and are willing to change plans frequently and quickly. Time orientation. The USA, New Zealand, and Germany, the pace of life is fast. Emphasis on clock time, traditionally monochronic but moving toward polychronic due to pace and complexity of business demands, like emphasis is on time, sensitive to time, schedule revolves around the clock. Japan, China, Hong Kong, the pace of life is fast. Traditionally, Asian countries have operated on even time. It's like, however, economic development and interaction with North American and Northern European cultures have led to a clock time orientation, generally and monochronic in business operations. Brazil and Argentina, the pace of life is low. Emphasis is on people, time incentive, and schedule involves from events, not overly keen to specify defined schedule, and business and social activities often mix. High and low context cultures refers to the fact that when people communicate, they make assumptions about how much the listeners knows about the subject under discussion. In low context communication, the assumption is that the listeners knows very little and must be told practically everything. In high context communication, the listener is already in context and does not require much background information. Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, and Mediterranean people who develop extensive information and network among family, friends, colleagues, and clients and are involved in close personal relationships tend to be high context. American, Germans, Swiss, Scandinavians, and other Northern Europeans are examples of low context people. People with low context compartmentalize their relationships, their work, and many aspects of their daily lives. As a result, each time they interact with others, they require detailed background information. Islamic perspective. In this hadith, it is explained that a Muslim is not allowed to work for an kafir because berdasarkan ulama, it will interfere with how he worship Allah and will invite him to leave Islam to his religion, as written in Surah Al-Qasas ayat 77. It is explained that a Muslim is allowed to search for the world but do not forget the hereafter.